When I share my story, it's about more than building an inspirational space for artists. I represent the creative spirit of the nation, the Choctaw Nation.
I am our past.
I am our present.
I am our future.
I am all of us. When we share, we become one.
Because our stories make us more.
Stories keep our culture alive.
See them and share them at togetherwe'remore.com.
People don't know what it is to be champions. Oklahoma invented it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Through the Keel. And guess what? We're trying something again. We're trying something new. It's the live video for our patrons. So if you are a patron, you have the ability to watch our handsome faces produce the sounds that you've been listening to for the last few months, few years, if you'd like to. Patreon.com/throughthekeel for that stuff. We already have a few patrons in the chat right now, so we're really excited to try this out. But I'm Brady Trantham. Welcome to Through the Keyhole. It's an Oklahoma football podcast. Welcome to the show, everybody. You've got three of the four horsemen tonight, as Alan Kinney is absent for tonight's show. He will be back, I would imagine, for the No Cap recap sometime on Sunday afternoon following the LSU game, so we're all excited for that. But three of the four horsemen are here. So, Matt Burton, how you doing, son?
Doing well, man. How are we?
Oh, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. And then, of course, Peyton Guthrie running like a champion. How you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Behind the scenes on this, frantically clicking all the buttons, trying to keep everything going, but we're doing great.
Hells yeah. I mean, again, we're trying this. We'll see how it goes. If it kind of hiccups here and there, you know what? Like, we'll just get better at it, or we'll just scrap it. But we wanted to try a little bit something new on Through the Keyhole, and we're excited for that. And yeah. Shout out to 1982 Boomer Sooner. Again, patreon.com/throughthekeyhole. If you would like to be able to watch the show live as we record it. And we usually record these in one take, so we'll see what the video element does, but it does to the equation. But if you'd like to watch the thing before it goes out to YouTube, wherever you listen to it, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts, you can jump on the stream with us, and you can, of course, comment. You can tell me that I'm dumb. Why did you think OU's offense was going to score 38 points against Missouri, Brady? Stuff like that. You can ask questions as well, because we are going to get to a few patron questions later on in the show that we're excited for. But let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Homefieldapparel.com. It's the exclusive apparel sponsor of Through the Keyhole. They just put out a new, what was it, a bomber jacket? Peyton, did you see that? They just put out like a new...
I saw the sweatshirts, but I did not see the bomber jackets.
I got a text earlier today from Home Field. Looked pretty sweet. They do have the 30% Black Friday deal coming up. So it's almost that time of year, everybody. It's almost Christmas time. And who knows? Depending on if we're all happy on Saturday evening, that probably means that, he's going to be playing some important football. And guess what? Mid-December, which is different than how it used to go. Homefieldapparel.com. Go check them out. The Spirit Shop in Norman, they deliver. I'm imagining it's going to be pretty fun and hostile on Saturday in a good way in support of the Oklahoma Sooners. So go check out the Spirit Shop in Norman to, maybe like lubricate yourself up. Kaizen Performance Gym in Norman, best gym in town, best gym in Oklahoma, in my opinion. Go check them out. If you look, it's almost that other time of year where everybody decides like, I want to lose some weight or I want to do this, blah, 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 beat the rush and just go ahead and get like a month in so that when everybody else comes on January 1st, you're already like used to it. So go check out Garrison at Kaizen Performance and he'll hook you up. And then of course, our title sponsor, the Choctaw Nation, togetherwe'remore.com for some feature interviews of some pretty incredible people. So go check that out as well. And please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Patreon. Like I said, patreon.com/throughthekeyhole, keyholepod.com, where you can find Alan Kinney's post-game thoughts from the Missouri game that went up a few days ago. And of course, his blatant homerism column, usually Wednesday, Thursday. Go check that out. That's the free website. So to everybody out there that's listening that isn't a patron, you can go check that out for free. And we've gotten a few extra Spotify ratings. Thank you all so much. And a few extra Apple Podcast ratings as well. Thank you, everybody, for doing that. If you've not done so, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. And now that there's a YouTube element to this, I mean, we've always had our shows on YouTube, just the audio. So we wanted to add, obviously, a visual component to it to help build that channel up as well. So go check out Through the Keyholes YouTube channel. And it's just is it Keyhole Sports, Peyton? The YouTube channel?
YouTube channel. Yes. Keyhole Sports. I believe that's be it.
Yeah, just type in Keyhole Sports Oklahoma and you'll find our logo, and then just click, like and subscribe or whatever works. We do have to get to one quick thing, and an apology to our patrons. And I dropped the ball here because I had to go cover probably the most boringest basketball game that I have ever seen when OU played Alcorn State on Sunday. So I wasn't able to be on the No Cap Recap post-game show. And I totally forgot to remind Alan and Matt, because, Alan and Matt, they don't typically run the No Cap Recap. I forgot to remind them about the patron thoughts. So I wanted to get that done. And so for our free listeners out there, as soon as OU wins or loses a game, we usually put out like a post on Patreon where everybody can air their grievances or their excitement, and then we read it on the No Cap Recap for our patrons' pleasure. So let's get that done real quickly. Mr. Alex Purdy is first up. Defense elite. Offense is what it is, and not much to be done about it until the offseason. Just keep winning ugly, or as Brent Venables says, grimy, which I guess you got to agree with it. Would be nice to see the offense do something this Saturday. Defense is great. I would like the offense to please be better. They had 6 consecutive drives against Missouri in the third and fourth quarter, and they couldn't do anything. It was very disheartening. P. Wygant, even if this team doesn't win a championship this year, what is clear is that something has changed since I sat in the freezing rain in West Virginia. Oh, man, bless your heart. This team knows how to win and believes they should. Take a step back from the analytics and fantasy football and instead take a moment to enjoy an American football team personifying a lot of the best characteristics of the sport. Peyton, it is different, right? Does this feel better to you, like just as a football fan? And I'm going to imagine your answer is going to be yes, considering that you were such a big Jim Harbaugh Michigan fan when he was the coach there. Just the comparison between all offense, no defense, and mostly defense, very some offense. I mean, like this is a little bit more gratifying, right?
Well, to me, you're watching football, right? I mean, if you look at it, I would say do not take a step back from the analytics, step into them. I mean, the parts in which look really good for Oklahoma look elite for Oklahoma, especially on the defensive front and defensive backfield, just defense period, and the special teams. I mean, 2 of the 3 units are performing at an incredible elite level. That's really, really interesting. Now, people can hem and haw about the luck or not luck, or the skill or the creation of turnovers. That I'm not one to get too caught up in that, because I just do firmly believe turnovers to a certain degree are luck is luck based, but you can increase your odds, right? And Oklahoma does a lot of things to increase those odds for them. That's hard to dismiss, in my personal opinion. But yeah, this is good watching. This is good watching. I watched this game. I quote unquote watched this game down in Dinosaur Valley while I was running my 100K. So I had the phone in my pocket, listening to stop for a 2-yard gain for 3 hours. So it wasn't too bad, but it was good to get that done and get a good win out of that.
Well, you had the right idea running away from that game. It was somebody said the most boringest football game they've ever seen. I was in attendance for the 2001 Cotton Bowl, or the 2002 Cotton Bowl against Arkansas. OU won 10-3. That was worse. But this Missouri game kind of crept into that territory. I mean, Matt, with that being said, it'd be nice if CeeDee Lamb played on this team, right?
I'll take CeeDee Lamb 10 times out of 10. For sure. Yeah, no, that, the fans really were, especially after that first drive for Missouri, it was a little, left a lot to be desired.
Dude, it was cold.
It was cold. It was quiet, and Missouri's just running for 4 yards every time, and you're just like, God dang, like get off the field, man, get off the field. And then, I mean, once the Satania touchdown happened, it was, I mean, the switch flipped, and I thought the fans really brought it after that. But yeah, I mean, that first quarter was just like, does everyone know that?
Yeah,
if they win this game, like they're still in the playoff hunt. Like let's bring the energy. But I fully get, as a fan, being in there and being like, it's cold, it's windy, it just rained a little bit earlier. Like, I mean, and Missouri's running for 4 yards every single play. What the hell's going on?
No kidding. I mean, a lot of stuff to get better at, but we'll get to that later. Going back to a few more thoughts from our patrons. Pirate Sleep Soundly, always a loyal patron with the comments. Appreciate him. All this team needs in order to win is to make offensive plays occasionally, which they do. So why should I be concerned? I mean, yeah, you're just asking this, mainly the offense, but it's complementary football. So you're asking this team to essentially have a very strong sequence of the game. Defensive stop or a turnover that's coupled with a touchdown, that's coupled with maybe another defensive stop and a field goal or a touchdown after that. Like that sequence, if OU gets that sequence with the defense that they have, and even with the offense struggling at the rate that it's struggling, they're more than likely going to win the game. Like they didn't have that sequence against Texas, and they had that sequence against Ole Miss in the second half, but they gave up like the inverse of that to Ole Miss in the first half, and it was just kind of too much for them to overcome, and unfortunately they weren't able to sustain it. Davis, good friend, we're just help me, Peyton. We're just
Reggie Gigas.
Yeah.
Reggie Gigas this year. We have slow starts.
So Reggie Gigas is a legendary Pokemon. Has a high BST, base stat total. But what cripples him is that for the first 5 turns, his attack, special attack, speed are cut in half. And then after that, he becomes super strong. So what you have to do with him is figure out a way to get rid of his ability so he's strong immediately. But yeah, what Dave's saying is it just takes us a while. Okay, just give us some time.
So not one of the 150 original Pokemon, because I don't recall that name whatsoever. No. I go up to 151 with my Pokemon because I'm old. And then Davis also adds win next week being the LSU game. Agreed. Braylon has a few thoughts. It's the 19th straight home win against Missouri. As few mentioned, 1966 was the last time OU lost to Missouri in Norman. Fewest points Missouri has scored against OU since the 1999 shutout. Missouri held under 100 yards for the second time this year. The first was against Auburn, and they ran for 91 yards. Rushing-wise, it was Ahmad Hardy's second least productive game-wise of the year. He was 17 for 57 yards, 3.4 yards per carry. Least was against Auburn for 58, 2.4 yards per carry, but he had 2 touchdowns. He was stopped, not at the goal line, but near the goal line. I believe that was Ahmad Hardy that led to their second made field goal, I should say. We outrushed the number 1 rushing offense in the SEC, which is incredible considering you have your starting running back with 2 mummified legs. That is incredible. Would it be best to lose to LSU in a close one and avoid the embarrassment of our offense in the playoffs and then shit-can Arbuckle, Mateer, and all the offensive staff? Well, Brandon, we might get to that a little bit later. With the offensive staff conversation. But, there's still game to be played. So a lot of time for that. And then, of course, hype man himself, Harry, blocked field goals and defense. And the defense was sexy as hell today. You damn right it was. Thank you to our patrons. And again, usually we hear that on No Cap Recap. So just another suggestion for our free listeners out there. If you want to be a part of the fun, patreon.com/throughthekeyhole. You can join free for a month and try it out. And if you like it, even if you like it after that month, then you can donate however much, I believe, up $1 or so. We got multiple tiers. So we have fun with our patrons. But Peyton, you weren't on No Cap, right? It was the two of us weren't on No Cap. So Matt, let me start with you then, because there's always something to be said about, we usually record No Cap Recap, obviously a half day after the game ends. That's still kind of the raw emotional reaction to me, because by Monday and Tuesday, I might have a more refined opinion of the game that I wouldn't have said on No Cap on that Sunday. So has anything changed? Like, do you feel better, worse about the offense? Do you feel better about the defense? Does anything about LSU scare you, considering what we've seen from this team overall over the last few weeks?
Yeah.
I mean, what's in your head now?
Are you ready for the new era of sports in Oklahoma? Want to be ready for some real Southern football? Kaizen Performance in Norman, Oklahoma is your spot for physical and mental growth. By empowering a lifestyle of constant, continuous improvement, Kaizen Performance's gym experience lends itself from the experienced training fanatics to those who want to make a positive change in their lives and everyone in between. Come see their new location at 158 Armstrong Court in Norman, Oklahoma. With experienced trainers who understand that every client has individual desires and needs, in-person and online customized training programs and nutrition plans, Kaizen Performance has everything to offer for you to meet your goals. Again, their new location is 158 Armstrong Court, Norman, Oklahoma, 73071. Seriously, Brady works out there, and so does Peyton when he comes to home games. Come work out with us and get ready for the week-to-week grind of real Southern football. Kaizen Performance, Norman's own local gym where your goals are a workout away. I think, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Alex Purdy, who I think is also a fellow UConn Miller. I think we graduated together, so... Shout out to you, Alex. But no, I think the offense just kind of is what it is. Like he said, I think it's kind of what you're getting right now, and especially with the health situation at running back. Brent invoked the name of Jaden Ott again today in his press conference, and I was like, are we really doing this?
An audible groan from the media.
It's like, golly, we're going to have to hear about this the whole rest of the week, too, on social media, on radio show, TV, whatever you do.
Just wait till that, playoff or bowl availability. Just wait, because everybody's available.
Everyone's available. Yeah, Taylor Tatum is apparently available again now. I don't know. I just would not shock me if you get Xavier Robinson and Torrey Blaylock, whatever you can get out of those guys for LSU. And then, hey, you guys, if you win this game, you get like a 3-week break, and you guys can rest and try to get yourselves back to as close to 100% as you can for a playoff game. But, the offense just kind of is what it is. I think the thing that does, like, scare me, I don't know, like, scares me, but, like, it is a thing of, like, they've done a really good job of taking care of the football. And if that starts to turn again, LSU's defense can do that too. Like, LSU's defense is stout. I think the last I looked, they're 9th, I think, on defense SP Plus rankings. So, I mean, that's just – I think Missouri was 15th. So, like, I mean, this is just another jump up for LSU's defense. But LSU's offense is really bad. It is not in a good spot right now at all. So, their offense doesn't scare me at all. It really doesn't. It's just, for me, like, can this offense continue to take care of the football? That is the main thing right now. And then, hey, you got 3 weeks to try to get some people healthy, maybe, self-scout again and be like, all right, what can we do well? And let's just keep doing that. I don't know, man. But just please stop invoking the name of Jaden Ott.
What can we do well? That's punt. That I'm pretty good at that. Although Grace Miller had kind of a up and down game.
Yeah, he was punting in the end zone a lot.
Well, Peyton, this was a game that you and I kind of went to bat against, and just to set the table for everybody, if they didn't listen to the show last week, I mean, my whole thing was, I think Missouri they've only shown to be like good enough to be average, like in terms of they can beat all the average to bad teams on their schedule, which there were quite a few of those, and the few good, like actual good teams on their schedule, they lost, and they lost close in those games. But I have a pessimistic attitude towards teams like that, where I'm like, okay, you lost close. Like, do you want a trophy? Do you want a trophy for that? Because you lost close? Okay, cool. And so my thought going into the game, considering that OU had just played in 2 hostile environments, coming back home, you've got essentially a relatively clear path to the playoff in terms of, if you take care of business at home in these final 2 games, you're in the playoff. And I saw this as a great opportunity for the offense to really string together some consistent drives, really give us an impression that there is something to be said about the offense potentially if they do get in the playoffs. Mainly because I didn't have a lot of not necessarily respect. I didn't think that Missouri's offense was going to have that much success against Oklahoma's defense, which would then set up OU's offense to have possession after possession after possession. And that played out. They just absolutely did nothing with it. They had 6 consecutive drives at the end of the third quarter into the fourth quarter where they could have turned that 17-6 lead into 20-6, 24-6, any of which would have basically ended the game at that point instead of having to bleed deep into the fourth quarter. And of course, that didn't happen. Like my thoughts didn't happen. So you won out on that. So assuming that you've had a chance to rewatch at least a big portion of the game, I mean, did that game do anything differently for you in terms of how you project OU in this last game, potentially into the playoff, or is it just, no, that's what I expected?
No, the game played out exactly how I expected. On the public podcast where I jumped off, my score prediction was 17-13. I believe Missouri had a drop touchdown pass in the end zone, which would have given me that score. It was, that game folded out exactly how I thought it would, which was, Missouri has an identity on offense that, Oklahoma does not have. Oklahoma can hit a couple of plays. Missouri at least has an identity, and they were going to force Oklahoma to stop them. Now, the first drive, Oklahoma, it really looked, the first 2 drives ish, it really looked like Missouri's just going to shove Oklahoma into a trash can. I was like, well, this sucks, and win like 9-0 or whatever. I was like, here we go. And then Brent actually responded to that stretch play by going to 3 high safety look so that the safeties can crash into those gaps as they open on the stretch play, and that just basically shut everything down. Like after he made that one simple trick that HR hates him for, Missouri wasn't able to do anything. So, and then also on that side, Oklahoma also could do nothing. Right? I mean, just absolutely nothing. Both these offenses are extremely bad when they're playing against each other. Now, where you and I had a major disagreement on was Missouri's defense. Missouri's defense is good. I hope when you watched it, I hope you went away thinking, okay, those 2 defensive ends are good, right? And they're getting after stuff. They're stopping the run. They're getting after Mateer. They're built kind of in the same vein Oklahoma is on the defensive front, right? Everything's up front, stop the run, get in a quarterback's face. And I realized that Oklahoma's going to have a hard time against that. So my best guess was Oklahoma was going to treat it like the South Carolina game, where they won because they kind of controlled the game on the lines. They pretty much did that, but I think these 2 teams were pretty close to mirroring each other, except OU has Satania, Missouri doesn't. That seems to be the only thing that was different on there. The quarterback from Missouri was his first game back and against his defensive front, which is tough to see for him and for Drink to toss him out there. But, they have a freshman as the backup, if not. That's where it's come. So when I see this game and I see how it played out and I'm looking at this digging into it, I see 2 teams that are pretty similar, right? Oklahoma just has more individual talent, which took them over the top. Oklahoma, in my mind, is not a team. Like, I think you see college football in tiers, like a tier 3 team can't beat a tier 1 team or something like that, unless there's like major things. I see them much more within bands, I guess. And I think Missouri's best day could have beaten an average day for Oklahoma. They didn't play their best, and so they couldn't beat an average Oklahoma, right? So that's how it kind of broken down. I am going to try to share now that we're live streaming. Let's see if this works. Oh, it shows you.
Oh, no. Now you're stuck with me.
Now I'm stuck with you. This. Maybe I can put me on here. No, I can't do it that way. Anyway, if you see the, I can do it like this. Yeah. So if you go on Game on Paper, check it out. Good friends of the pod, they're on a podcast here. They really kind of break some stuff down for you and really looking at just EPA, so your expected points per total play. Oklahoma was -6. So every time they snapped the ball, it's technically -6 points. But Missouri sitting at, that's a very layman way of looking at it, but Missouri sitting at -26. So Oklahoma had them just completely in a headlock the entire time, and Oklahoma wasn't able to do anything else. But if you look at situationals, so this is how you can get really, really deep into this. Looking at explosiveness, when Oklahoma hit explosive plays, which they hit 3 of them, they did pretty good because without explosive plays, Oklahoma was -21. Now, if you remember, their overall was -6, so their explosive plays really helped them out. And then Missouri, without their explosiveness, were -28, and their regular was -26. So their explosive plays, the 2 of them, did not help them out too much on EPA, helped OU out immensely on the EPA, obviously one of those being an 87-yard touchdown pass to sustain you. That really helps you out there. But it was it was a rock fight through and through. And if you guys want to dig more into this stuff, go check out Game on Paper. You can really get a chance to kind of walk through some of this stuff and kind of see how these things kind of carry from down to down and look at that stuff. But like even just like the turnovers, like they didn't really do too much, right? From the EPA perspective. So Oklahoma's winning this game kind of handedly. It just didn't look that way on the scoreboard. So yeah, it may be weird to say 17-6 games a blowout, but that's pretty much as big of a blowout Oklahoma's going to get against a good football team on that side. Yeah. So that's kind of where I was coming from on that. Was Missouri's still a good team. If Oklahoma had something on offense, I would say, yeah, I could see them winning by 20 or something like that, but they don't. And so they won this way.
Yeah. Yeah. And the frustrating thing for me with it is just, when I think of a team that's one-sided and the one side is defense, I look at it from the standpoint of when OU's had good defenses in the past and maybe struggled on offense. So, technically last year, 2009, you could say that as well. It was probably the last time that OU had a one-sided team and it was just defense. Defenses tend to just get tired throughout a game. And so, yeah, like OU's playing Missouri going into the game, the defense is statistically good. They've got good individual players. It's going to be a tough challenge. But I thought once you get into the late second quarter and into the second half, that defense is going to get worn down, not necessarily by the offense, but just worn down by the fact that their offense can't do anything and they're not getting rewarded for anything. And OU's individual talent would just kind of take over. And they almost did so. I mean, they had the 87-yard touchdown pass. They followed that up with a really good drive, capped it off with a Giovanni Gibson's first touchdown pass. I would say that their next drive just was a kneel, but they technically ran that weird little, wasn't a fumble rooski, but they kind of like faked the knee and handed it off to maybe try to sneak in a big play there. And it just went for like 2 or 3 yards and the half was over. Then their next drive, I think they go on a 9 or a 10 play drive, cap it off with a field goal. So at that point, it's like, okay, like they're going to just start marching down the field because Missouri's defense is just getting disheartened by the fact their offense has just been utterly shut down. Like the one thing that they're good at cannot work with Ahmad Hardy in the running game, and Bo Perbula is not going to be that guy. So I just kind of expected that what was going to happen. And then OU started getting the ball at the 35. They got the ball like inside the 40-yard line, I think 2 out of 3 possessions in a row. And they just couldn't do anything with it. Some of it was kind of play calling. I thought that this was probably the first game where, whether it be Alabama or Missouri, kind of the first time, Peyton, where I was just, I don't know about some of these play calls. Then I thought about it. If I would have been on No Cap Recap, I would have been like harder on Ben Arbuckle. But then I thought about it for an extra day and realized there were probably times where they did want to run the ball and they just flat out couldn't, because you don't want to run John Mateer that much more than you absolutely have to. And Xavier Robinson is just playing injured. Tory Blaylock is playing injured, and lose me with Taylor Tatum and Jaden Ott. And Brent did talk about Javonte Barnes today. It was a very nice, nuanced answer, kind of put me back on Javonte Barnes' side in this whole situation. So I appreciated that transparency. But yeah, I think OU was just kind of hampered by the fact that they are incredibly injured at the running back position, and that heavily influenced what they were wanting to do and able to do. Because if you had Tennessee, Xavier Robinson, maybe they do cap off another scoring drive in this game just to make the score look prettier. Not necessarily to like prove my point, but my point is the opportunities were there. Hopefully against LSU, if they find themselves in the same situation, they're able to cap off an extra drive or two to score to make the game, just to end the game much sooner than it should be.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was playing around with stuff. No, I don't think Oklahoma has the ability to knockout punch anybody on offense, right? If I want to look ahead real quickly to that LSU game right here, like, can they handle that? Like you mentioned, like that, do they have that ability? I'm not for sure Oklahoma has the ability to punch somebody and knock them out on offense on that side of it. Now, if you're looking at LSU's offense, we're probably going to see a much worse, not much worse, but a worse offense than Oklahoma has, and it's going to make Oklahoma's number 1 rated defense success team look even better. And then also you got to look at how much does this LSU team have in the tank as well. So that's something that we may not be able to understand for them. Like, how are these teams playing? How's the players playing? You know, are they just cruising to 7-5 now, or do they want to play spoiler to Oklahoma? I mean, they don't have a coach. I don't think
they might have a coach.
Yeah,
they might have a coach named, at least when they play.
That's right. But it's like, are they trying to rally around the interim coach or something like that? I don't see it. To me, this kind of feels like LSU is going to play with pride. Obviously, they're football players. But I don't know how long that pride is going to last, if that makes sense. I think if there's a chance for Oklahoma to win by the double digits and cover, Matt, do you know the line by chance?
It was 10.5 earlier. I will effort the.
I think Oklahoma
updated.
can cover that 10.5, just due to the fact that if Oklahoma does score, early, I'm just not for sure or maybe just does score. I don't know how much LSU is going to be like, all right, guys, let's go home.
Right?
It's too cold up here.
It is still 10.5. Anyone want to guess what the total is? The over/under total?
42.
Like 38 or something.
It has gone down from that. It is 36.5. These are really Iowa numbers.
It's 2001 Oklahoma, but with surprisingly a better offensive line, considering that they're playing three freshmen. It's it is what it is. But I don't know. I mean, Peyton, Matt, anyone can jump on this. Why do I still feel like the offense is capable? Is it just because John Mateer is individually a good athlete? Whenever he does kind of break out of the pocket and beats the guy on the edge, he can show that athleticism off. Is it because, when Xavier Robinson has been healthy, and I have no idea what to expect from the running backs this Saturday. I have zero clue. I'm lowering my expectations. I just don't understand how they can go from being injured against Missouri to being a little much better against LSU. Is it just because I want them to be I don't think it's that. I feel like when I watch them play, there's capability there, but it's just not manifested whatsoever.
The Spirit Shop has been Norman's source for wine, beer, and spirits since 1976. We feature the biggest selection and best prices in town. Thousands of different wines, beers, spirits, and more. Live in Norman? We deliver all over town, every day, usually in under an hour. Let us bring the party to you. Go to our website and order online at www.thespiritshop.org or give us a call at 405-321-3100. That's 405-321-3100. In from out of town for the game? Come see us at the corner of Main and Berry, just 2 miles east of I-35. Take the Main Street exit and browse thousands of fine wines and hard-to-find bourbon in store.
I think it's just that you've seen this offense, and it's something I've kind of gotten around with my head on for this right now. You've seen this offense perform in high leverage situations early in the season, right? Through Michigan and through Auburn, something needed to get done. John Mateer did it, right? And then since then, I mean, after you don't look at Kent State, obviously. Don't look at Texas, obviously. But since then, you've seen the offense be able to manufacture something. In Ole Miss, a running game appeared. All right. Tennessee. I can't remember what happened on Tennessee, but a couple they were able to do a couple things there.
Defensive scores.
Defensive scores. Yeah, defensive scores.
Well, at least
against Missouri,
capitalizing off of turnovers. Even if they're field goals, they're making the turnovers count.
In Missouri, you see the Sustainia touchdown pass. So you see these things, and you think, "Oh wow, here we go!" Right. So what's happening is that you're seeing Ben Arbuckle's ability to draw up a play versus Oklahoma's ability to have a sustained down-to-down scheme, right? And some of that could just be, some of our podcasts are saying the RPO tags and stuff. It's too much for John Mateer, and so he's throwing the ball when he should be handing off, or he's handing off when he should be throwing. They should just completely remove that. And to be honest with you, where I am right now, sure, I guess we could be in that thing and simplify everything for him so he doesn't have to worry about it. But I do think we have to move forward from the ability from like expecting them to be more than this, because they're not going to be. But I do see where you're coming from, because you're like, just call that play again. Call the 90-yard touchdown pass again. It's like, it's just right there. It seems it's wide open. You see it. When I'm looking at the All-22, big shout out to me. Whenever I'm actually able to tape the film review stuff, you just see guys open. You see guys running around. You see people downfield. Mateer's not seeing them. So if I were to walk through it and see that side of it, I think Ben is doing well. John's not able to see it. And then the young offensive line is just not able to block long enough for the injured running backs, right? They're going to get them moving. So I think what you're seeing is that they are, to coin a term, and I need to get like a graphic of this, to coin a term, I think they're close. Kanik mentioned it. Hey, they're pretty close. So, I mean, you can kind of see it happening. You can kind of see some stuff going on, but there's going to be limiters to his offense always. Mateer not being able to get air underneath the ball to layer, for his deep shots. I mean, even the pass to Sustainia that was for a touchdown was thrown like at shoulder level of offensive linemen. I mean, like, that ball's always going to come in shallow. That ball's always going to come in hot, just the way he throws it. So there's going to be some stuff that's going to be difficult for the team to have down to down until the offensive line is able to get push, and until the running backs have knees that work. I still not going to be able to do that.
Please donate knees to the OU running back room. I mean, Matt, anything?
Yeah, no, I'm with Peyton too. I mean, I think it wasn't that long ago we were talking about this offensive line being to quote the great Fran Fraschilla, 2 years away from being 2 years away, right? I mean, the Bruno Caboclo draft, but now I think they're like 1 year away from being a year away. Maybe like they're again, almost said the dreaded words. They're near. How about that?
They're very near
something. They're very near.
The sheriff is near
to what it's supposed to look like. But yeah, no, that man, I just still, I know he's saying it's not a problem. I feel like the thumb mixed with the Texas game has kind of mind. Can I still cuss on YouTube?
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
All right, it kind of mind fucked him. Honestly, I feel like that tanked the confidence a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. That's just the way I'm seeing it. He continues to say that the thumb is not an issue, like at all. I don't think he's been asked about his knee, right? There's the, Gabe said that like right after he got hurt from the Auburn game, like his knee was also bothering him. I don't think he's really addressed that either. I mean, he's running it fine, so I feel like it's okay. But man, yeah, to me, it just looks like a guy that is sometimes freaking out a little bit, mixed with some PTSD from the Texas game, mixed with a young offensive line that are having to block some creatures like Missouri had on the edge. That Wilson and Young duo was really, really good for Missouri, man.
Yeah, no question. I mean, OU's offense is up against it, but thankfully they've got a good defense. 1982 Boomer Sooner with, the talking point from the offseason, and it's kind of just reared its ugly head in this last month with John Mateer. Could it just be because the SEC is on a completely different level of play than Washington State and the Mountain West last year? I mean, yeah, that's playing a heavy factor in it. And if OU, I mean, okay, let's pretend that USC beat Oregon. And then let's assume that OU beat LSU on Saturday, and then OU host USC. I don't know statistically what they look like. I just know generally their offense is great and their defense is not really that much to write home about. If OU played that team, if they played a team that kind of had that makeup, really good offense and average to bad defense, I think you'd see a lot better offensive production. I think you'd see a lot more scoring, not 40 or 50 point scoring, but I think you'd see like, oh, this offense suddenly looks a lot better. Is it because John Mateer had 3 weeks off? Maybe, but it's also because he's not playing in Neyland. He's not playing in Tuscaloosa against the 9th rated SP plus defense. He's not playing against this top 10 defense, that top 10 defense. So that certainly has a big part of it. But the thing is this is the University of Oklahoma, and they're in the SEC for a reason, and you've got to perform, and Mateer just hasn't done that. And in his defense, it's not all on him. Arbuckle is asking him to do a lot, but that's what you get when you sign the offensive coordinator who's going to bring the quarterback with him. Is that's the tandem that you brought over. But oh well, I mean, OU's got LSU on Saturday, and the 8th president of the United States, Mr. Michael Van Buren, who presents a challenge in terms of his legs. OU's played multiple running quarterbacks this season to kind of up and down results, right? I mean, Bryce Underwood is a dual threat quarterback, but that was his second game of his college football career.
And they didn't ask him to do.
And they didn't. Yeah, they were like, we've got a long season. We're not getting him killed.
Yeah. That Chambliss is the standard, though. I mean,
Chambliss, Lenore Sellers individually, from an athletic standpoint, he presents the challenge. He's just not a very good quarterback, and I think
his offensive line is terrible.
Offensive line is terrible, but OU is just able to tee off on the fact that we're not afraid of him throwing, so just like murder him, and that's exactly what they did. Jackson Arnold, of course, is a mobile quarterback, but it did not matter on that game. I mean, Joey Aguilar, like Tennessee wants him to be mobile, and he's got some athleticism, but wasn't it? Ty Simpson as well. He wants to live in the pocket, even though he does have athleticism. He wants to live in the pocket. So this will be just a test for OU's defense, Peyton, in terms of understanding that you've not punched your ticket to anything just yet. And, don't pat yourself on the back too much. You might be asked to do a lot more this Saturday if the offense doesn't get its head out of its ass. And Van Buren has presented, he's kind of shown, whether it be at Mississippi State or in his few games at LSU, that he can make some plays happen with his legs. But at the end of the day, like you had mentioned earlier, I think SP plus rated wise, LSU's offense is worse than South Carolina's, maybe barely, but they're in that category. So yikes.
No, I don't think there is I'm trying to quickly find it up. I think the only thing you look at for Oklahoma, you're talking about, can Oklahoma's defense pass the LSU offense test? I think what you're looking for is, can Oklahoma break the season sack record? I think that's the test you're looking at, right, for the total. I can't see the somebody's going to have to pull that up. Matt, try to find it. The team total for sacks.
It was, remember, it was like the team record is 10, which is what OU tied against Auburn.
Not
took
a game.
Not in a game.
Season.
Oh.
Season. How many do they need to get to break the season record?
Now that I don't know.
I think that I would assume they're within striking distance, but I'm not for sure on that. So,
all right,
they 10 against Auburn or 9. Yeah, I forgot.
It was last year. Last year they had 50 sacks.
Really?
Right now?
2024. I'm trying to look. 2025. This may not be updated. It says 24 sacks. This is on Soonerstats.com. So,
yeah, they usually update pretty quickly or pretty frequently. But I mean, they had like 8 sacks against South Carolina. They had 9 sacks against Auburn.
Okay, they have 41 sacks this year.
Yeah, they have 41.
And they had
9, right? You said?
Yeah. Wait. I think I'm looking at sacks given up. That's what it was on there. Okay. They had 41. They have 41 this year. They had 35 last year. Sorry, they gave up 50 sacks last year.
Oh, yeah, great.
So, yeah.
And it was all in the second half against Ole Miss.
Right. I'm just going back through this website is only showing me back through 2016, but they've already passed every season from till 2016. So.
Yeah. Anyway, if we've already done it, we've done it. If we haven't, let's put it a number high enough. It won't matter on that side of it. I think LSU's offense, SP Plus is rated 75th. South Carolina's was rated 74th right now currently. So I'm just not for sure this is going to be that much of a game of fireworks. I don't think it's going to devolve into a shootout. And Oklahoma's defensive line has not shown a willingness to not kill somebody. So I think Oklahoma's going to bring it from that side of it. There's going to be a little bit of a we've done it mode. You know what I mean? Like, this is it. This is because now, guess what is the biggest game of Brett Venables' career?
This next one.
This one.
This game coming up. Yeah. All right. I mean, this is the
Every
game
week.
the playoffs. This is the game that shoves every single hater into a locker. Matt, you got it?
I do have it. It is 45 is the record. They did it once in 2005, once in 2003. And the 2005 one, they did it in 12 games. So 2003, it was in 14 games.
Thank you, Matt. And shout out to 82 Boomer Sooner. Caught it at the same time.
Oh, there you go.
For us.
There you go.
Us out. Thank you so much. 1982
I think that's Hype Man Harry.
Right,
shout out, Harry.
You can get it. We're going to have
Oh,
it.
that's Hype Man? Oh, thanks, Harry.
There's a chance to break some records, this coming up week for that. So what I want to see is, can Oklahoma do anything against LSU on the ground? If you do have Tatum, you do run him, like, how quickly will LSU quit, right? That's the thing I see. And the hardest part about this being on YouTube now is I potentially some LSU people clip it. I think LSU has a chance to quit on the game, because what are they playing for? This isn't like a big time national rival for them, all that type of stuff. This isn't an Alabama game. This isn't whatever game
they want Arkansas on Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah, which seems like they will next year potentially. I just don't know, right, on that side. It feels like if you can push them a little bit, it may be over before it's over, right? For LSU and for Oklahoma. So that's what I want to see is, will they lean on them and push that side of it? Because I'm not necessarily going to say, let me see here, defensive success, right? According to Game on Paper, I'm looking at it again. They're the 22nd best pass defense and their 21st best rush defense. So it's like, just pick one, right? They're balanced on defense. So I think it'd be nice to see Oklahoma kind of lean on somebody and kind of grind them out, and maybe hit like a play action pass or something deep to Satania to finally do that knockout punch on that side of it.
Double flea flicker just for a 11-yard pass to Jaron Kanik.
Love that. Love it. When everyone's like, Alabama's doing all this trickery, I'm like,
I know.
Like a double reverse for a 12-yard gain. So
I said the same.
Calm down.
I was like, oh, I'll shut the fuck up.
That's just moving the chains, baby. That's what that is right there.
Oh, no. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to is, does OU just play a clean game, offense and defense? You don't let like a Texas situation happen where if you find yourself in a game where the offense is just absolutely struggle bussing, you cannot give up a long touchdown drive with multiple 3rd and longs converted. Like that's a backbreaker. That was a backbreaker against Texas. You can't let that happen against LSU. If you find yourself in a game like Missouri where it takes the offense a quarter to get its shit together. And look, I mean, since I think the Ole Miss game, they've had, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Bama, Missouri. So they've had 8 first quarter drives since the Ole Miss game. So 2 each game. And they've mustered 6 points, like 2 field goals in those 8 drives. And Arbuckle was asked earlier today at his press conference about their lack of being able to start games off quickly. And I mean, to your point, Peyton, if they're able to just kind of suddenly have the gods look down and smile on the Oklahoma Sooners and just everything starts to work early, yeah, like the quit factor could very much be in play at that point, especially if guys are like, oh, Lane Kiffin's our coach now. I have no idea like what my future is. Like he didn't recruit me or blah, blah, blah. So that could be a thing. Matt, Peyton, do you guys know, is Nick Anderson going to be back for this game? Because I remember like the original prognosis was, oh, it's not as bad. His injury against Alabama a few weeks ago, it's not as bad, and he could return. And I'm like, this season, like there is like very few weeks left of this season, and that I guess that would mean Oklahoma. So I know Bauer Sharp's playing.
I'm sure Nick will try to play. I'm sure. If it's not that bad.
I mean, Matt, we've talked about this before, and Peyton, like you had mentioned, like this, this is another one of Brent Venables' biggest games of his career. Another talking point, at least from my side, this offseason going into the year, Matt, was, stop letting teams and former coaches, former players, former like people, anybody connected to the program in one way or another, stop letting them have like their selfie game against you, where like they have an awesome game, they beat you, and they're just taking selfies on the field with their friends and family. It's like none of that. Cannot let Bauer Sharp and Nick Anderson have a good game. Like just defense. Don't let that happen. They didn't let that happen with Jackson Arnold. They didn't let that happen with a handful of like people they've seen this year. So hopefully we can expect much of the same.
I hope so. I absolutely hope so. You just can't. Oh, with where LSU's offense is, like, I don't know. This is not me getting like ahead of myself or anything like that. I do not like their offense right now, dude. And it feels like, and Peyton's been saying it, feels like there's a lot of give up potential for the offense, especially if they just can't move the ball in the first couple drives, and this OU defense is just suffocating them. It feels like there's a lot of give up potential in that unit. Now, I wish I could say the same for LSU's defense, but they could absolutely have success against OU's offense for sure. So again, we might just be in a repeat of the Missouri game. We'll see.
Hope not. That was just a hard watch. It was even hard to like rewatch the game, knowing what was going to happen. It was like, man, that's just boring. I could do other things. I could go outside and rake the leaves. I'm gonna go do that instead. Yeah. Got to take care of business this Saturday. I'm expecting it to be a fun atmosphere. Everybody knows what's at stake. I will say, like, as someone who's been questioning if Brent Venables is the guy, there have been a lot of great things that have suddenly happened over the last few weeks that are trending in the direction of like, maybe he is. And I'm all for that. I do appreciate what he's been saying, essentially, like in any availability, Peyton, where it's like, he's fully aware, like, we've not won anything. There are no trophies handed to us. So I at least like the attitude. And while the game against Missouri wasn't very exciting, and while it was frustrating a lot, and while technically OU wasn't really, the game wasn't over until essentially it was over, I didn't get the impression that they were playing and shooting themselves in the foot. Like it wasn't like the UCF game in 23 when they had clearly patted themselves on the back. They beat Texas. Everything's great now. Don't worry. And then clearly they were a much different team the rest of that year and not as good as they had been in the first half. Like I didn't get that impression against Missouri whatsoever. So that's good.
Yeah. I mean, there's I feel like it's like we're talking. I feel like I'm just having to talk around circles on it. It's just, I want Oklahoma to come out in a way that goes from this side of it. And I do want to comment on some of that stuff that because you're also got Caden Durham, who was wasn't he committed to Oklahoma for a hot second?
He was wanting to. I can't remember if he was. Yeah.
If they're out Nick Anderson, they're out Aaron Anderson, they're out, Weeks, they're out everybody. They barely beat Western Kentucky. I mean, I think this team is just, they're going to come out, they're going to play hard for a quarter and then just roll over. Right? And we get done with it and everyone goes out and we take care of it. Right. That's what we have to do on that side of it and be done with it. And then, Braylon, are we being teased about the return of Tatum? I don't think we are. If he doesn't roll out there, I'm not for sure. But if Xavier's that banged up and Blaylock's that banged up, and it's like we just have to beat this one team, and then we get a 3-week break and get healthy, and now let's play a playoff game. And then in my mind, that's where you see a much improved Oklahoma because they've had time off just to get healthy. On that side of just get healthy. Like I think that changes a lot of things, but you have to move on that side. Now, this will be a very passionate game, in my opinion, right? It's LSU. They've got a very rowdy fan base. These teams kind of historically don't like each other. LSU kind of owns Oklahoma, all the way through. We knocked Nussmeier out for a couple plays last year, and he comes back and he's like, "I am now a god." It's just like, here we go. So I think this is a game where Oklahoma can get two monkeys off their back at once. They can beat LSU and they can prove Brent Venables right that they can get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now that's a lot of pressure, but you don't play these games without that pressure. I mean, you come to Oklahoma to do those things, right? You come to Oklahoma to play in games like this. In my predictions, I had Oklahoma sitting at 8-3 right now, going, with this game of a chance to get 9-3 and maybe get into the playoffs. Obviously that shifted, but now it's you win this game, you are in the playoffs, period. You're hosting somebody. This is a big time thing. This takes every single person, myself included, I think Brady included, who were like, "Brent, see ya, get out of here, had fun." And it's just like, we're losers, right? Like we didn't have the vision, we didn't see it, but it's happening now, and we need to enjoy it because this is something where, coaches don't get this opportunity. Coaches don't get an opportunity to lose 7 games twice and then make a playoff. Brent is showing us that cooler heads can prevail. And to be honest with you, the team that is that's being developed, right? All the stuff that was done here to support Brent Venables hasn't even happened yet, right? Nagy and all them they were brought in late in the offseason. Like this is all Brent's team. This is all Brent's everything. If we think all these additional additive things have come to play, that's going to be 2026 and 2027. You're going to see potentially an extra amount of growth that may not have just happened just under Brent by himself, on that side. Because if you really look at the only guy of note that got brought in was Ott, so it doesn't really
Jake Michaela.
Yeah. I guess you have to have somebody out there.
No, you expect more Jade Knotts is the lesson that we've learned.
But you're going to see there and go that way. So this game is this big time. It's big time for the program under Brent Venables, not necessarily a big time for like the program historically or something. Oklahoma is a great football team, a great football program. So 1 season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons isn't a definition of them. This isn't like A&M, right? Where A&M's like, this is our best season of all time on that side of it. And they still really haven't played anybody. So
I know
what happens to them.
A&M's having such a good season that Johnny Manziel is apparently, I'm not going to repeat what he said. I don't know if he even said it. I just saw it on a graphic. So who knows if he actually said this, but he said something in response to the Texas State Trooper incident with South Carolina. I don't know if you guys know what I'm referring to, but
I saw that too, and I don't know if it was a parody or not. But yeah.
Well, here's the thing: is like I saw it and thought, that might be true. But in that weird scenario, if that is true, A&M's having such a great season that Johnny Manziel is willing to say terrible things in order to get attention. Like, hey guys, no, I'm A&M football. You remember that year we won the Cotton Bowl against Oklahoma? Remember how awesome that was? No, okay, fine.
They're going to lose to Texas.
Oh, they're going to lose.
That would be the funniest possible outcome.
It's just Aggie, man.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Perfect regular season, then oops, biggest rival comes and ruins it.
God. Yeah, and I'm also not. Taylor Tatum. I'm under the impression that the coaching staff is like, if the choice is between injured Taylor Tatum and Torrey Blaylock and relatively healthy Taylor Tatum, they're going to be like, we're going to play the injured guys because we know they won't fumble. Like the stakes are too high. We cannot afford you to go out there and just drop the ball. So that's kind of, it's like, it's football. Everyone's playing hurt. I mean, Xavier and Torrey are playing at a much higher hurt level, unfortunately, and that sucks for them, but credit to them for being tough and grinding it out. But yeah, it just sucks. I wouldn't want to put out someone either that has a fumbling issue. Let's get to a patron's DM that was sent to us the other night, Peyton, and you had kind of mentioned it in our Discord chat. I read over it as well. Basically, it's an interesting deep dive into potentially what the schedule might look like next year for Thanksgiving. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah. It's from one of our patrons by the name of Jeremy, who I believe a month ago hit us up with a really good question that turned into an entire show topic. So this is like another one of his. So I'll try to go through this. It's pretty long, but I'll try to go through it pretty quickly. Maybe it's on a message board and I missed, but OU's return trip to Missouri next year is almost certainly going to be on Thanksgiving weekend. And his evidence is, so in 2026, there's a 13-week schedule with week 1 on September 5th. With 13 weeks and 12 games, you can only have one bye week. Thanksgiving weekend in 2026, every last OU conference opponent has either out of conference rivalry, so like Georgia Tech, or a major in-conference rivalry game. So that's Texas and A&M, the Egg Bowl, etc. The exception would be Missouri. Now, Missouri has been playing Arkansas on Black Friday for the past dozen of seasons or so as well. However, due to the math, one of these must be true. And he's got, 4 things that must be true. So 1, OU plays the entire 2026 season without a bye until week 13. And that sucks. Was it Lincoln's last year where we didn't have a bye week until week 9? And I remember being like in the off season, because that was the first off season of Through the Keyhole. And I remember thinking like, that looks terrible. I hate that. So OU potentially not having a bye week until week 13 sounds disgusting in this conference. Number 2, OU plays a week 0 game. That would be interesting because I always get so excited for week zero guys. And then it comes on and I'm like, none of these games are interesting. All these teams suck. Never mind. Number 3, OU plays at Missouri week 13. Or number 4, OU moves New Mexico or UTEP to week 13 and moves in a conference game to the early season. This one seems really far-fetched. And then he provides an article which mentions, quote unquote, sources saying that the LSU band has reserved hotels in Arkansas for Thanksgiving weekend 2026, implying that LSU and Arkansas will be played week 13. This article seems spurious, but even if you don't believe it, the math still dictates that one of those 4 scenarios above holds. I don't know about you guys, but I like the idea of having a kind of a cupcake out of conference game this late in the year, just for the injury concern, just for it's essentially another bye week. If you have one more final big game, like if OU played Temple, not Temple, if they had played Kent State this past week, I would feel a lot better about the LSU game. I feel good about the LSU game anyway, but I'd feel a lot better about it because it would essentially be Brent has a bye week to prepare for his most important game of his career. But it's not the way it plays out. I mean, any of that interesting? I mean, again, like having a bye week until week 13 sucks. I know people don't like November cupcake games. I do think that they're important, especially if you're already playing a tough schedule. So, I mean, any thoughts? Anybody?
No, play Missouri. Get the rivalry going. Bring the peace pipe back. I think Missouri's sliding, for me personally, they are sliding perfectly into that bedlam space of this is a team Oklahoma will always be more talented than. Should be a team Oklahoma should always beat. And they have a fan base which is starting to annoy me at a very high level. So this to me is basically the new Bedlam game. You got the 95 meetings now or 94 meetings now. I mean, play it, build it up, bring back the peace pipe, do the whole thing. play it right, and go for it, and just add some hate to it. I love it. I think it's good.
Peyton, do you want to explain or provide some insight as to why the peace pipe is a bad trophy?
Oh, I necessarily don't think it's a bad trophy. It's the idea of using cultural items as sport or something of that nature. So as a member of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, is my personal opinion, not the opinion of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, that using cultural items as downgrades them in this way to a point in time to where I think it's a little odd from that side of it. That said, the Jill Shillelagh's cool. So, I mean, I don't know. So, I mean, but that was a weapon. There may be, I'd have to look up some other items or something like that. So, but the peace pipe in itself doesn't really bother me. I think maybe it's due to the actual creation of the peace pipe, if that makes sense. I read an article that it was about like the Oklahoma Student Organization met up with the Missouri Student Organization, and they would smoke weed at halftime, and that's how it started, or something. It may be something along those lines. I would say make a trophy for it, and let's have fun with it. You know, it's good. It's fun. Let's just do it.
I mean, the game on Saturday made me feel like I was smoking weed because I was just like, it's boring. It's so boring. I'm like, oh, everything's in slow motion. Oh, no. I'm perfectly sober.
Maybe I have been smoking weed because I could have swore they had 2 bye weeks these past few years.
Well, isn't that changing with the 9th conference game?
Okay, so nobody else right now that plays 9 conference games gets 2 bye weeks, but it's just the SEC and ACC.
That I do not know.
Okay.
We're on TV, so I can't bullshit.
That's right. Again, like I said, maybe I have been smoking weed. I don't know. This could be that. Not out of a peace pipe. I would not appropriate a culture like that.
Call it the battle for St. Louis, and whoever wins the game, which will always probably be OU, gets like recruiting rights to the city of St. Louis, and then you just call it good. Like, Thank you for your athletes. We appreciate it. Fare thee well, Missouri Tigers. Until next year.
Or is that maybe like, I'm just thinking out loud. Is that like a TV thing to like, I don't know, like hey, you guys get 1 less bye week, but we're giving you your conference like this much money. We're giving you the teams this much more money to not have.
I would imagine.
From what I'm seeing is that teams usually have 1 bye week per season, but due to the calendar in 2024 and 2025, we've had 2 bye weeks. So it makes me like a weird little scheduling quirk.
Damn it. I really love the 2 bye weeks.
I do too. NFL has 2 bye weeks, right?
Just 1.
They only have 1?
Yeah.
God. What's wrong with my brain? Oh, well. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for the insight and the question. You didn't necessarily ask a question, but you provided a show topic. So thank you to you once again. Appreciate that. Patreon.com/throughthekeyhole for those interested. We don't need to get on to stadium renovations that much. Everything's been said that needs to be said. It's stupid. It's dumb. And if this is truly going to bring in money to the athletic department that it needs for, player retention and going out and getting some of the best players in the country, then I don't want to hear the front office talk about money balling for receivers. I mean, is that, Peyton? Is that fair to say? Is that a fair, like, kind of middle ground thought to have in terms of, I don't like it, but if that's going to be the reality, then do this then instead of that?
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the NCAA bylaw. It says FBS teams may not play their first game of the season prior to the Thursday preceding Labor Day. So 2024, 2025, Labor Day was earlier, quote unquote, earlier in the season, and it created 14 weeks to play 12 games. Normally there's 13 weeks to play 12 games. So ask your question again.
So everything has to do with like the alignment of the planet and the moon and the stars.
Yeah, it's like a Farmer's Almanac situation.
Oh my God.
I love this sport.
College football and astrology. No, not in my world. No,
How
the
many
whole
Virgos around the OU team? I don't know.
Stadium renovations, we don't need to get too hard in the paint with it. But if that's going to be the case, and some of the talking points as to why, like, hey, like, these new luxury boxes going to bring in a lot more, generate a lot more revenue for the athletic department, blah, blah, blah. And that's good because of, you want to get good players and keep your good players. If that be the case, then okay. I don't want to hear any more Moneyball talk then about wide receivers. Clearly, wide receivers are important, and we might be able to get away with it this season. But boy, would it have been nice if Isaiah Satania was by far our second or third best receiver instead of our first.
Yeah. I mean, as someone who doesn't attend a lot of OU games just because of my work schedule and where I am in the state, I don't have a ton of tradition to it. I saw some former some OU media types talking about family traditions and things like that, and I'm like, well, I mean, it's a market, it's capitalism. Let's spend money. All right. I mean, it's not a God-given right to sit in a seat, but I do understand the emotional connection to Oklahoma, right? I mean, like I said, I'm running 100K, 63 miles, listening to this game in the middle of the woods. I mean, I understand the emotional connection to Oklahoma and wanting to hear them and see them and be in the presence of it. I remember when Brady and I did not have tickets for the TCU game. That was Caleb Williams' first start, but we got tickets because we wanted to go see that because we thought it was this big program-defining thing. It turns out it was just not for what we thought it was going to be. But you want to be in there and you want to do that. So I get that, but you have to. I mean, I think if you're looking at economic trends, it's probably better for Oklahoma to downsize a little bit and squeeze out some of this stuff. So that does suck on that side of it. So I do understand that. To your point, though, if you're making all this money hand over fist and you're kicking out your loyal fans who are loud, then yeah, maybe we do a little bit better than getting the third best FCS running back or something like that. I mean, maybe you go out and get somebody. Now, Oklahoma has shown the ability to get people, but they get them at certain positions, defensive tackle, running back, quarterback, stuff like that, which they've deemed as extremely necessary. But I think Oklahoma needs to get a number one wide receiver out there. And I don't know where you get him, but for John Mateer, if he returns, all the stuff, I think you've got to have that. And, as Harry's saying down there, offensive line. I mean, Oklahoma's going to have to invest in offensive line, defensive line, and then hopefully a wide receiver. Anything else doesn't really matter to me. But I think you're going to get some big splashes, but they're going to be positions to where they don't make the big splashy plays. Offensive line, defensive line, you keep building there, and then one of these wide receivers will pop, is my hope. But if somebody is laying around, if a Cam Coleman's there just knocking on the door saying, hey, you can get me, all it takes is money, then let's go figure it out and do something. But I think Oklahoma needs to continue investing in the defensive line, needs to continue investing in the offensive line moving forward.
Yeah, I think just thinking about it right now, not having done a deep dive on it, I mean, I would imagine, concerning the O-line in the offseason, they're just going to be looking for depth pieces, which is where you would want to live, right? I mean, maybe you try to identify a starter in the event that maybe Bill Beambo doesn't feel 1,000% great about Ryan Foje at right tackle for the, long-term future. Maybe you try to find a senior grad transfer, like a Walter Rouse situation, to immediately upgrade your offensive line. But for the most part, they're just looking for depth, which is not where they've been on the offensive line in the last two off seasons. They've been looking for please God, start and be good and be healthy the whole time. Right.
You need a guard, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You need interior line.
You could upgrade center. I mean, you could go get a guard and a center and keep everyone else the same. And I would be fine with that.
Troy Everett did say on Monday after practice that he's applying for the medical red shirt. Doesn't know. But I would still say he's an excellent young man. I would still say OU needs to, if they can upgrade at center, go do it.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's what you have to do, because you've seen this team not be able to succeed offensively because of the O-line. You go get a center, you go get a guard, and then you get one or two depth pieces so that you're not pushed into there. And you go from that side. I think that's what you do, and then you do the same thing on the defensive line. You get another DT, you get another edge guy, right? Because you got to replace. You have to go get a cheetah guy. You're losing Daniels. You're losing Marvin Jones Jr. You're losing RMT. I mean, you're losing some guys on this team which need to be replaced. Now, luckily for Oklahoma, Okoye's looking good. Wine's looking good. PJ's looking good. Like, you've got your top line potentially, but you need to fill in some gaps on there. There potentially some one-year rentals from some schools which you can pop from.
Yeah, I mean, Wine's looking really good. Hopefully, he doesn't look too damn good because I would love for him to come back.
Yeah.
Like, not too good. You're doing too good. Pull him. Real quick, just Braylon, you had mentioned this. I'll pull it up on the screen again. Oklahoma doesn't have the population density to have 100,000 seat stadium like so many angry people on the boards and X are saying, and I understand that. I've never really toyed with the notion that OU's ever going to have a 100,000 seat stadium because I agree, like the numbers just don't support that whatsoever. There's something to be said about exclusivity because I've always thought like it would be great if I was the God Emperor of OU, I would dig a hole at the McCaslin Fieldhouse and add 3,000 to 5,000 more seats and just make it an 8,000 seat arena. And just let it be one of the coolest basketball environments in the country. And it's like, well, it's an 8,000 seat, 9,000 seat arena. Like, well, that's the point is it's pretty exclusive. It means something to be at these games. And that would add to the atmosphere, in my opinion, and help out the basketball program. So there's something to be said about that. But when I was reading and hearing about like stadium renovation talk and them scaling back the capacity, in my mind, it was like 2,000 to 3,000 seats, which would have sucked for those 2,000 or 3,000 people. But unfortunately, that's just the price of doing business these days. 7,000 seats is a lot. That was very eye-opening to me in a very disappointing way because now you're going to be below South Carolina and Arkansas. And look, this isn't like a pissing contest about stadiums, but there's just something to be said. Like OU joined the Atmosphere and Environment Conference, and they're willingly kneecapping their atmosphere and environment, which they've had to like really reach out, do all kinds of crowd surfing, engagement farming, whatever it might be to figure out how can we make these games a lot more fun for you as a fan, even though it just had a lot more to do with we want to watch OU be a good team in a good conference against good opponents. And they have that with the SEC. So it's just weird that nearly 10,000 seats are going to be gone. It's just weird. So anything, Peyton or Matt, on that?
I mean, it's just like you said, it's just the times. I mean, that part does suck. I mean, but they are I guess there's two ways to think about it. In press box needed to be done.
A long time ago.
So that's being handled. And then you've got Josie saying we've listened to fans and they want seat backs and they want a little more space and they want the in-game experience to be a little more comfortable. And to do that, you have to do this. So there's two fan bases of saying, one, I want seat backs and a little more extra room. Because I get it. When I go to those games as a quote unquote bigger guy, and I'm like having to like put one shoulder in front of somebody and one shoulder behind somebody, it does suck. Right? And I'm not even that big on that side of it. And so if you want to have it more comfortable, you want to have all this stuff, and the people who are going to the game, the people who have season tickets, are probably ones they're hearing more from, potentially. But the other side of the people are like, I've been going for 20 years. I've been grandfathered into this, and I don't pay so they don't have to pay the donation. They just pay the seat price or something because of XYZ. And if I'm looking at OU, I can sit, there's probably a little bit of like, we understand that this is normally a donation section that you don't have to pay because of, or whatever it is. I don't remember how the politics of it all work out. They may be looking at that and saying that's revenue lost, right? Like, I understand you want to come, but that's an extra X amount of dollars we could be earning off of that on that side. But if things bump around, they change around, and they eventually get to the north end zone expansion, this is all just, a temporary blip in the overall thing. So,
yeah, it just sucks I've got a few friends that have parents and family that are probably going to have to be moved, and that sucks for them because that's the seats they've had for a long time. And I mean, I will say when it comes to football, there's just something to be said about being in the shit. Like it's football, it's a blood sport, it's chaos. And I mean, Neyland, of course, OU winning had a lot to do with this, and especially with the way the game went, because even though the offense was technically bad in the first half, there were still a lot of exciting things happening for OU that the first half was still enjoyable. I have never been more crowded in a stadium. Like I was, like you said, Peyton, like I was with two friends, like I was in the middle, and we were essentially just completely standing to our sides with our heads turned to watch the field because they cram all 110 or some odd thousand people in there. And it was so cool because it was just like we're a part of this. Like football is an uncomfortable sport to play, and we are also uncomfortable. If I was a billionaire, like I'm sure my life and my thought process would be different. But when you two came to Memorial Stadium in 2009, I got a free ticket to go, and it was in one of the luxury suites in the East Side upper deck, and I'm sitting in there, and the sound's coming through some speakers inside because like the outdoor seating was full, so I had to sit in the luxury box. And I'm sitting in there, and I'm like, like if I was rich, I wouldn't want to be in here watching a football game because it's like I might as well just be home if I'm going to be inside. But again, I get it. Nothing wrong with being rich. I'm just like, hey, if I want to watch football, I want to suffer too, just a little bit. I'm just weird though.
There's a way you could make this right. If you want to hear it.
What is that?
The fans that are losing their seats, those 7,000, they get to be in the suites until the north end zone gets done.
No, you've got. That's why they built 2 paywalls.
I bet that north end zone get done really fucking quick if that was the case. That's all I'm saying.
Shout out to well, I don't know if I can shout this person out because I don't know if they want it known that that's what they deemed the 2 massive walls that are going to be built to separate the fortunate from the less. The fortunate from the even more fortunate, let's just say, because if you're able to go to OU football game, you're pretty fortunate. It's an awesome thing to do. But that would be funny. They should get first dibs on like whatever new seats get added, but oh well. Let's, I guess, last few, anything OU related. I mean, OU's 26 class is like not going to be too bad on paper. They're Brent has successfully turned the negative recruiting of last year almost around to the point where you're going to have a respectable class. They're flipping some guys right now. I mean, Jonathan Hatton, the running back who originally committed to OU, then has been committed to A&M for the longest time, has now re-flipped to OU. So that's good. I don't necessarily know why any talented running back would want to play for DeMarco Murray, but that's a different story for a different podcast. But yeah, recruiting seems to be trending in the right direction. But other than that, is there anything else OU related you want to get off your chest? No. And Peyton brought his dog on the show.
Yep, Arlo's freaking out right now. He's digging into his dog bed. No, I mean the recruiting is good. The hard part about Oklahoma's recruiting is that it took too long for the proof of concept to finally hit all these recruits, I guess, if that makes sense. So, like, yeah, you're going to be able to flip some guys, but hell, you could flip like half this class. But there's just not enough time to do something like that. And it doesn't quite fit the ethos of a Brent Venables on that. So I think, big shout out to Red Dirt Sport. I think I had leaned where he's saying where Oklahoma will probably end up climbing to like 13th or something like that, which is better than 21st.
Yes.
Obviously.
No, that's a far cry.
Your 27 class is looking like a top 5 class type of a thing. So that's going to be a big time thing for Oklahoma.
I mean, if OU beats LSU, OU gets in the playoff, that's a great sign for Brent Venables in terms of him potentially being the guy to lead OU for the next, generation. And if that be the case, I mean, they're going to have to start hitting on some offensive recruits. And it's great that some of the offensive line recruits have hit immediately, but we can't even count on one hand like skill position guys that they've recruited and developed and that have become good. And we're all excited for the offensive linemen who are freshmen that are starting on the offensive line now. It's just all the portal guys at receiver and none of the like homegrown, home recruited dudes. And that's annoying and concerning. People are excited about Elijah Thomas just because he looks awesome in pads, but he's just played on special teams, which is good. David Stone did nothing his true freshman year, and he's one of, if not the best defensive lineman in the country. So a lot can happen, but unfortunately, we've not seen any development at wide receiver from recruited guys, and that needs to change very quickly. We had mentioned it a little bit earlier ago, jokingly, but Lane Kiffin to LSU. I mean, there are a lot of people that seem to think that it's a done deal. Ole Miss and Mississippi State are going to be playing on Friday night, and Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin are supposed to make give an update as to their status with each other or without each other following that game. So I guess if it's trending the way that people seem to be thinking that it's going to go, then OU will be playing LSU at 2:30 the next day with the full understanding that Lane Kiffin is their next head coach. So who knows what that does to the psyche of the LSU Tigers? Who knows if that even happens? But weird. It's just weird. And then our old friends in Stillwater hired. It's not Seth Morris, because I wrote that down on the doc. What's his name? Eric Morris from UNT, the University of North Texas. So good offensive mind. Knows the state of Texas really well. So like on paper, it's a very good hire for Oklahoma State in terms of like if you're wanting to build the program away from Mike Gundy to an extent and try to, be better at recruiting, be better in the portal. Really good hire and pull by them. Just go get someone with deep ties in the state of Texas, and you're probably going to be golden in the Big 12. So any coaching carousel thoughts, any college football thoughts, guys?
I mean, it does seem like the guys which we think should get hired are getting hired, right? I mean, I think Morris is a pretty good hire for OSU. Who knows how it will work? If you see, his past steps, it's third year, boom. They year one is preheat the oven, year two is bake, year three is succeed. So maybe it's a 3-year thing for OSU to get back to being respectable. The South Florida coach, Tulane coach, I expect them to be at Auburn and Arkansas in some order. I mean, it does seem like maybe some cooler heads are going to prevail and just hire the guys who seem like layups, and then we'll figure out if they work or not. But it should be pretty interesting. And
OU's permanent rival, Ole Miss, permanent for 4 years. Sorry, the permanent for 4 years rival, Ole Miss. See what they do. That'll be interesting to see.
Is there any chatter? Is there any chatter about what they're planning on doing in the event that he are they going to promote Pete Golding? Ugh.
I don't know.
Or is he just
an interim? I think maybe for an interim, potentially. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if Lane's smart, he'll try to keep LSU's current DC.
I've heard their interim would be Joe Judge, the former head coach of the New York Giants and longtime Patriots assistant, and his Giants tenure did not go well. It did not go well at all.
Man,
but he can hit some home runs.
Hell yeah, he can. AL MVP, unanimous.
Well, I mean, the college football rankings came out right when we started, and we'd already mentioned, if OU beats LSU, they're going to 95% sure they're going to host a playoff game in Norman. So that's awesome. It makes the game even bigger, just a little bit bigger, considering the stakes. But any college football rankings thoughts, gentlemen? I mean, it seems like it's trending in the direction of our Catholic friends from South Bend might be coming back to Norman for the first time since James Harden was traded.
Yeah, Sam, don't get any ideas. Sam Presti, do not get any ideas. Just lay low.
Jalen Williams is going to be like, Sam, why are you looking at me like that?
Dude, stop it.
No, it's going to be
I don't like strip clubs at all.
It's going to be the Dylan Brooks trade fiasco where it's like, no, I meant to trade Jay Williams.
Yes, that's the Jalen Williams. That's the Jalen Williams that we're trading. Yeah, man. Yeah, just
Peyton, what was going through your mind? What was going through your mind that night? Because you have a unique perspective in that you're not a Thunder fan, but you were probably no doubt interested in the OU Notre Dame game, and being a Spurs fan, knowing that the guy who had just, I mean, a few months prior ripped your heart out in the Western Conference Finals and James Harden, just being like, here, you're going to Houston now. I mean, what was going through your mind at the moment?
That's the Notre Dame game OU lost, right?
Yes, in Norman.
Yeah, so the only thing that's going through my mind was why couldn't oh man, what was the linebacker's name?
Manti Te'o.
Why wouldn't Ward cover the guy who ran for a touchdown or something like that, right? I mean, I didn't care a single second. I was watching OU. That was happening to OKC Thunder.
I more than likely have the timeline messed up in my head because it's been so long. But in my memory, it happened because Notre Dame was leading 13-6 throughout most of the game. And then Blake Bell finally punched it in. Finally punched it in on the Bell dozer and tied the game late third quarter, maybe early fourth quarter. I can't remember, but it seemed like, oh my God, Sooner Magic. Here we go. OU's going to take control in this game. And then this is early Twitter days for me, 2012. And then in between Blake Bell's touchdown and the kickoff, I think is when the tweet went around the world because everybody around me, and then I pulled out my phone. I was like, oh my God, the Thunder did trade James Harden. And then I think on the next drive, Notre Dame scored on a 60-yard touchdown run. And it was it's like reality just hit. Yes. Oh God. It's back in my Thunder fan days. So I just was like, what? No.
This is the worst.
No. Shout out to the Thunder fans. They're at least happy now. Are they still one loss undefeated, Matt?
Yep. Just that one loss to the Blazers, but they got revenge the other day against the Blazers. Beat the absolute shit out of them. Hyman Harry does make a good point. Says Bama might jump OU if Bama wins the SEC title. That's very true.
Yes,
I think that they would.
Sure.
I think that they definitely would.
If Alabama wins, OU doesn't host a game.
Yes.
If Alabama makes it in there and wins the SEC, OU gets knocked into the 9th spot.
Yep.
So Bama would be playing, if they beat Auburn, they're playing Georgia or A&M?
A&M.
If A&M wins.
Yep.
A&M is a win or somebody loses, right? So A&M's in. So A&M could lose and still make it if Georgia loses or something like that.
Yeah. I would also, the way that it's set up right now, if everything goes chalk except Bama wins, it would be an Ole Miss OU rematch, but just in Oxford.
I'd like another crack at them. Because again,
honestly,
if they lose Lane Kiffin too, yeah.
Well, let's be super hypothetical. Alabama wins SEC, gets in front. Lane goes to LSU. They probably drop Ole Miss a couple spots, and it's just. And then if they do that, they're going to. If that happens, they will. They won't drop out of the playoffs. It's impossible.
What if they just
drop
Florida Stated them? What if it's no? That's the reason why you were good.
You just cannot do that. In my personal opinion, they'll avoid a match. They've already talked about they avoid rematches and stuff like that. Okay. So they'll move stuff around, but it's looking like either the Leprechauns come to Norman or OU goes to Notre Dame. I mean, that pretty looks like it's just kind of in there. Yep. Worst case scenario, Oklahoma's going to Autzen. Which
that didn't go too well last time. Oh, God.
Oh man. No, it's exciting, but hey, just beat LSU and then let things take care of themselves. And then, this team's played well on the road. So as great as it would be to play in Memorial Stadium in late December, oh boy, weather's going to suck. As cool as that would be, if they have to play on the road, then you should have confidence that they can play well because they've done that all year playing on the road. So, hey, everybody, this was fun. It was fun to add the video element to the show. It'll get better as we do this more and more. Thank you to the patrons who joined along, commented, asked questions. We appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. Patreon.com/thekeyhole if you'd like to join the show. live. Again, like how this is going to work is patrons get first dibs on the podcast in terms of being able to watch it, comment along. So if you'd like that access, then go join our Patreon page. You can do it for free for a month. So go do that. And then if you don't want to, don't worry about it. You can still watch the video on YouTube after the fact. Once it goes up on our YouTube channel, and then the audio will still be available wherever you listen to podcasts. So nothing's going away. We're just adding stuff to it and just adding some exclusivity for our lovely patrons. So, yeah, thank you for everybody for listening to the show. Truly appreciate it. Shout out to Alan Kenny. I'm sure he'll be back for the No Cap recap. If not, he'll be back, I assume, next Tuesday as we discuss what happens with the Oklahoma Sooners. Hopefully they take care of business against LSU. But yes, Peyton.
And then Patreon listeners, tomorrow we have the LSU opponent preview. We got the a writer, the managing editor of And the Valley Shook will be joining me either mid-morning tomorrow or about 1 p.m. tomorrow. So look at that on the stream on the Patreon site, which is www.patreon.com/throughthekeyhole. Best website in the world. Go check that out if you want to get a LSU preview.
Yeah, you did a good job last week with the double duty on the Missouri pot preview, Peyton. Good job. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to Through the Keyhole. Truly appreciate it. But until next time, Bummer.